Hey, what's going on, guys? Comic against here. So we still keep working on this project to take current text as an input, tokenize it, associate every single word with a specific part of speech, which has been already achieved in the previous video. And in this one, we're going to be actually translating the words. So one of the most essential things behind building the vocabulary itself, right? And I was thinking to actually stick to Google Translate, but its API has changed so significantly, and it's a real pain now to make a very simple thing that we actually need to do. While this translate.com seems to be a relatively good translator on its own as well. Meanwhile, the API call, like this AJAX call that is used in order to translate the word, we don't even need to translate a phrase. It's possible, however, we don't really need this. So it's very, very simple to translate that, and the data that we need to pass along with a post request, HTTP post request, is really miserable. So I really loved how this kind of works. So we would be sticking to this translate.com stuff. Well, actually, for this sort of a script that we're building, it doesn't really matter that much which kind of translation service is being involved. So it can be changed on demand, basically, and you can use your own if you want. So without further ado, let's actually start exploring how this kind of translate.com works. So let's take a single Korean word. So this one, 내일, means tomorrow, and we just paste in and we get the translation, right? But how this happens internally. So we go, if I just open the network tab within the developer tools, and let's say just get rid of this one, and it makes tons of requests. Yeah, just hold on a second. I'll just bring this back in. It should make, it should be like AJAX translate, something like that. So hold on a sec. Is this? Nope. okay, let's just try some suit, which means clothes. I just lost that kind of one, so let's try one more. Yeah, AJAX translate, here it is, finally. Okay, so if we just do, let me just bring my camera view a little bit, slide away. So result success, clothes, well, it just translates both of them, but well, that's because both are available, but actually, well, tomorrow and clothes both are kind of done. But we obviously would be, so you see like the original text contains two kind of words here, but we would be using by word translation. So let's inspect the request that has actually been done here. So we have the URL, the request method is post, and here is the data, the form data that we need to use in order to come up with our kind of request. So that's kind of it, very simple stuff. Okay, and now let's try to, well, first actually let's try to play around with the AJAX call in separate, and then we'll embed it into our code to translate the actual set of words that we have. So without further ado, let's start coding. So yeah, JSON, do we still need that? As far as I don't really, yeah, let's keep that for a while. So I want to import the requests library. If you don't have it installed, please do it. It's very simple. Just pip install requests. I already have that installed, so no need for doing that. And here another thing to consider. So it takes kind of ages to create this OKT instance or Korean text, open Korean text, and so I will just be sticking to my a bit of a hack here. So just so here is the output that is generated by the tokenizer right over in here. So because it takes just too laggy, just to avoid doing this, I would be using this one. And for now, I'm not even going to be touching that for a moment, so I don't need that one. instead, I want just to make a request. So print and requests.post, and now also want to create the payload variable for form data, so form data that would be passed along with the post request. So here it is. So just copy this one and paste, and okay. Okay, and the URL that we need is this one. Copy. So okay, we could have make it as a constant somewhere above, but I can't see much reason for complicating things, so I think this should be fairly enough. And text. So and the data equals to the payload. So by default, let's go translating this, I'm sorry, Nail, which means tomorrow. So now it should print the corresponding output. So let's have a look, vocabulary.py. So I'm running the code, and here is the result. So we have the success and the URI slug tomorrow, translated text. This is what we want, translated text. So just to print this, well, we could have do this with JSON dumps, just show you this once, and oh, actually we need to parse it. So yeah, let's go for parsing this sort of a thing first, and then yeah, so so yeah, I just replace this, put it into the code here later on. Okay, so we want to make HTTP post. What I've done, sorry, make HTTP post request to translate.com, and yeah, let's break things down a little bit. Control X. So response would be equal to requests post data payload, and this would be translate.com post request data payload. Okay, payload. Okay, so now we want to parse the response, so to literally to convert this from text to a JSON object. So like for this JSON, like plain text, which is the type of string, to the Python dictionary. So let's say translate equals to, and now I say JSON.loads and response.text, and now let's just try to print this like JSON.dumps, and we want the translate and indentation equals to 2 spaces, just to prettify this a little bit. So let's have a look what we have. Okay, so perfect. Now we have this data been pre-printed. So all we need from here is called translated text. So we can actually reference this translated text like this. And here we can just print translated text and call this variable translated text. And now we only see the corresponding word that we need, which is tomorrow, and this is the word that we need to associate with our data set, right? So now we can simply take all of this sort of a stuff and cut it from here and paste right over in here. Okay. And now the only thing we need to replace is, so the word is token 0. Okay. So just copy this token 0 and here instead of this word. Okay, thanks for commentary. So here we can just use this token 0, and in theory now it should loop over all the words available and actually print all of them. So one more thing to consider here would be to, so yeah, actually let's go for, we would be appending this to well, actually, hold on a sec. Let's go for this instantly. So we can say translation, and translated text would be our translation. Yeah, and here, let's say JSON dumps. It won't print the original character because JSON dumps doesn't print the Unicode characters on its own, but still, so vocabulary, yeah. You will see the IDA. Well, actually, no. Let's not print it just to avoid getting confused by the pairs of Korean versus English text. So let's actually try to translate all of them, and yeah, then we just go for yeah, probably, yeah. So word type noun translation tomorrow. Okay, word in type chosa, which is the specific, which is the Korean grammar specific term. This is like Korean word chosa. Translation, well, in. Well, this is because it doesn't have a direct translation, because it's just kind of like a particle, so it doesn't have its own meaning. Well, Google Translate actually tries to translate it as is in some cases, like depending on the context, but I really like this sort of a thing. So in, which doesn't, it should clearly shows that it doesn't have its own value, and in is how it's read actually. So 오늘 is a noun, it's today. We have this, so poda, it's typed the chosa, and translation to see the word cho질da. So this is the standard form. So verb translation, it gets cold, and so on and so on. So yeah, I think this is quite pretty fun. Well, actually, if we just disable, well, now we do translate from here, from precoding. Well, if we just disable the stem, no, probably we better not doing this. So I think this just should be enough, right? Okay, guys. So yeah, I think this actually should be really enough here. So type translation similar. Sorry. Okay, guys, I'm sorry, just my wife has just called me. Well, but anyway, I need to call her back. But anyway, we are actually done with this sort of a tutorial. So the next step, I'm not sure exactly regarding the next step. So I just want to try out some workaround in regards to the verb conjugations. So let's say if we have a verb, then we potentially try to use one specific service that is called verbix.com to actually try to get the present, past, and future tense of the given verb. But I didn't yet test this, so I actually need to test that out. And if that works, in that case, we can actually go for adding some conjugated forms of the verbs, if any, to our vocabulary. So this is it from my side. Thanks for watching until the next time, and take care.